Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Villah from Indrani Novello. Now, this is a recent release from tanglepatterns.com. Highly recommend subscribing there. And it's a border tangle, although you know what, you could do multiples. You could fill in a section with this, just kind of turn it into a grid pattern, and that actually could look rather neat. All right, now I did find this one a tad tricky, and yeah, and I'll explain as I go. All right, so this starts off with well, let's get our border part. Okay, this is what I mean, because you could just, keep drawing lines like that to fill something up. All right, then, and it's kind of an interesting grid pattern within the border. So we're going to divide the whole thing in half. And then let's see how well I get it here. I'm going to, just so that way I make sure that I have two of the big initial S's. Oh, it'll work. Okay. So in half and then in half again. Now, if you're working on something, bigger, honestly, let's see. Well, you could, let's see. Of course, you can find a stopping place. So, just divide it in nice, even-ish boxes and you should be fine. Okay. Next is, and this is what I meant by the big X's, because we're going to go right through the middle. I like to stop and pause because my grids are not necessarily even or symmetrical or anything. But we're essentially taking a four square within here and putting this big X. All right, and then we're going to aura on the outer section. So coming here, just a nice aura. And I'll turn the tile and do it again here. Yeah, because you can, I didn't even look to see. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. My pen is running out of nib. It happens. Okay, sorry, like that. All right, here is where I got turned around a little bit because I want to replicate what Indrani did, and I was first thinking. Well, this is how, when I'm doing the step outs, this is what they start off as. So what I was thinking was, well, why can't I, back up, Heather. In Indrani's step out, she just shows the next step is 2 lines here, so it's kind of like this, but it's behind these lines that are already here. So I was like, well, yeah, but, as I'm looking at it, they didn't look exactly like, they were starting, like this started with a big X. It's like, well, can we do that here? And then, pretty much do the same thing. That's kind of what I was assuming. But it ended up looking like this, which is a tad different because it's narrower here. And I was just like, yeah, it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like. And not that it matters, because that is plenty cool. But like I said, when I want to do the tangle justice, so here's what I ended up doing. And you will see it because I split these two. I made these on separate steps in the step out. So what I decided to do was, I'm going to just put a little mark, just a tad bit to either side of that middle line. I'm kind of starting there, but I'm going to end here. And I hope I'm not making it more complicated than it needs to be. But yeah, so if you take a look at the step outs in the description section, and yeah, I think you'll see what I mean. And then here, so everything, I'm keeping everything at a little distance from that end. So I'm not coming right to it like that. Okay, and then the same on the other side. Let's connect that space. All right. And then the next one, we're basically just auraing to the inside. So that one's a little bit easy. Like that. This one you really don't have to think too much. But like I said, if you take a look, I was seeing that these lines were on kind of either side of the intersection. Yeah, and then here, well, I guess here you have to think a little bit. Sort of, kind of. Should probably come down the same way I was coming up. That's all right. Since I've started it backwards, let's just keep going backwards. Okay. And then we're going to draw another line across, but it's going to go underneath this intersection here. So like that. Make sure all my lines meet. It kind of makes a little bit of a difference. And essentially that is it, except to, play and shade. And so here is what's fun. Before I do anything, let me just bring this back here just to show, so I'm not being distracted by the other shapes in there. But let's do it this way. So do you see the difference? Where this looks like two diamonds, but yet this looks more like it's continuous. And yeah, and I mean, yeah. So it kind of matches the first one, even though like this kind of comes to a point, kind of like this does. It's just different. So I throw that at you. Just use it as you will. The nice thing about Zentangle is that there are no mistakes. So, like I said, there's no wrong way to do it. I just needed in my head to have an order of things, and and so I'm like, well, wait a minute. Let's examine this closer, because that's what I like to do. All right, now, and I do like how Indrani shaded this. Oh, and actually, if you go take a look at the sample. Oh, and I should kind of go with the sample, because that's neat. Yeah, I did my version of the step outs a little bit different because I wanted to. But let's try it a different way. All right, so I'm going to start off here. I'm going to fill in the one that's in the background that we just did, which is also nice because then if you need to course correct something, you can. And I'm going to stop there, go the other side. Now, if you were looking at the sample, like, but wait a minute, how does that turn into something that looks like it's weaved together? Well, when you have the thicker pen in your hand, and you know, you're coloring in, well, you can just color right over that line there. It's all right. But that's how you can get that after the fact without having to, you know, to plan anything out and all that. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. So kind of alternating. Which is all about and which is not. All right, and what I did on my version of the Stepouts is I decided to alternate this, so I went over this one. Oh, I should do that anyway. But no, I'm not going to. Because I went over a little bit. That's why I was thinking. I should have looked there first. I did not pay attention, but it's okay. But what's so fun is you get to do whatever you want to do. And decorate it however you want to decorate it. Yeah, it's just neat. Now, I think it will also help to fill in, yeah, let's fill in every other. And this, so it's not, we're not necessarily shading, although, I mean, you could, but, yeah, this is just fun. And you can just scribble some graphite first. And then use the Tortillion to just smudge it around, fill it in. See how, you know, it just, and depending on how dark you want it, you know, it just, that'll depend on, you know, how much graphite you lay down there. I'm feeling like this needs a double border for some reason. Oh, maybe because I'm looking at Linda's little step out and she put a thick border. I kind of like that. And then too, it'll kind of cover up where I went a little bit over. But let's just do a double first and see what that looks like. I whacked the camera again. Sorry. I want to have it nice and close so we can see. Let's do the other side while we're here. I'm almost thinking that it needs to have that contrast. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Well, especially since I kind of went narrow there. Let's just do it for for course correction's sake. But that way you can see what that looks like. You know, that's the fun with, you know, the fill-in is, or filling in, I should say. Well, I say the fill-in because it is kind of a technique. It's a great course corrector. Yep, I like that. It just needed the contrast. Or well, it's not the contrast. It ties it together. That's what I think it does. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this. And if you have, please click on the like button. And if you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. I've mentioned the description section where you will find links to the Stepouts. And then below that is my link tree. And there you will find all my social media links, website if you want to follow my blog. This is a daily tangle, and that gets put out on the blog. Also class recaps when I do them. So far that's been it. Also, if you would like to come and tangle with me and a bunch of other tangle addicts online, I do that twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Start times are the same, 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. We do the same thing both times. I started doing it a long time ago and then decided to, why change? And it's fun. Some people come to both. You are more than welcome. Tuesdays classes generally have a fee except for the third Tuesday. That is called Tough Tangle Tuesday. That one is free. The others have a fee. And Thursday is Tangle Time. Those are all free. That's where we take a tangle or two, just depends, and play with it and have fun. So come and join us. Information on the classes, where to follow me, is on the link tree. You'll see a couple links there where I post classes. I also have the list on my website. And speaking of our Tangle Addicts community, we have a Tangle Addicts group page, a group. We have a community group on Facebook. If you'd like to join us there, click that link, answer the 4 questions, and as soon as I see it, then we will open the door for you and welcome you in. All right, so with that, again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.